Do I buy more sealed? Do I sell what I have? Do I open everything and hope for big hits? Let's flip a coin and find out.
Do you find yourself like this idiot in the video? You've come to the right place. We're going to figure out what to do with your money so you get the best bang for your buck so you can still open packs and have fun in this hobby that is now basically for rich people. Hey everyone, Team Fight Trainer here. I hope you liked that jokey little intro video. The last couple years have been super crazy for Pokemon. There's been crazy demand, a whole new world of scalpers and scammers around every corner, and now everyone's worried that the Pokemon market is crumbling and they don't know what to do with their cards. How do you make smart decisions with what you want to buy, what you want to open, what you want to flip? I'm going to try to be your everyday guide. I'm going to give you some of my tips, some of my tricks, and we'll see if we can help you make some of the better decisions when it comes to your very expensive Pokemon card collection, or if you're trying to start one, how to do it right and not make some of the mistakes that I've made.
Whoa, camera angle swap. I will be starting a series inspired by some of the other famous, much more famous PokeTubers out there, but from that Canadian perspective, that frozen north, because that's where I am, sort of. We generally have less product, and it's generally a bit higher prices than what you see in the States. But it's definitely a thriving hobby here. And I want to make sure that I can give some different perspectives for those around. The general rules of what I'm going to say will apply no matter where you are, whether in the UK, whether you're in Australia, the US. These are some good general tips that should help you get along. I've always loved the idea of starting a channel collection. It lets me have first-time hits with all of you wonderful people. And it also lets me just sit back and open packs for my own personal collection on the couch without feeling that incessant need to turn on a camera and make sure I'm recording every single thing I do. I like that sweet separation of my side hustle and my fun and, my personal life. But we're definitely getting ahead of ourselves here. So this video is just going to give you the basics of what I plan to do, how I make better choices around what I want to buy, what I want to open, and what I want to keep sealed or flipped. This is all just my opinion. Take it with a grain of salt, but I'm hoping that my experience I've had with the hobby so far can help you make better informed decisions. Your experiences definitely may differ depending on where you are, but I'm going to help set some groundwork for you. So from there, let's dive right in. Okay, actually, I did want to add one more quick disclaimer. So I am not some millionaire who can drop, hundreds of dollars an episode on opening packs every week. I work a 9-to-5 office gig. I do well enough for myself that I can afford to be part of this hobby that is increasingly seeming like it's for richer people. But I'm definitely not doing well enough that I can just ignore prices and ignore deals and buy whatever I want. I'm able to fund the amount of cards and hobbies I have by, following some basic items like saving money, finding good deals, flipping things when they're at a high, and buying them back when they're low. We're going to get into those steps, but I really wanted to outline that if you are someone who can only save $10 a week or $20 a week, or you can only afford one pack a month or something, I want to give you that mindset where, I'm in that same boat. I don't have an infinite amount of money, and the money I spend on this hobby, I want to spend it the right way. So that was the disclaimer. Let's go into my top 5 most relevant tips for anyone trying to get into this hobby in some form or another. Okay, rolling into tip number 1, and this is probably going to be the more controversial tip, but from my personal experience, the best place that you are going to get product is going to be Facebook marketplaces and Facebook groups that are dedicated to the Pokemon group. Now, there is a lot more legwork involved in making sure you pick a group where, it verifies the members, making sure that there is some sort of system where people don't just come in, scam the crap out of the group, and leave. If you've got at least 1,000 people, that's generally a safe space to start. But you want to look for more populated, more active groups with a lot of rules. No one loves rules, but when it comes to buying and selling things to strangers online, the more safe fences you can put up, the better. So why do I like to choose Facebook Marketplace and groups? It is the place where you're going to get items for basically no taxes. Now, I'm not saying you go through Facebook Marketplace and sell on their system. You find trusted sellers. Always buy your items in person when you can. It's not like eBay where there's money back guarantees. It's not like PayPal where you can potentially get scammed but get your money back. All of these interactions that you do on Facebook should be with heavily verified people in these groups, people who have like thousands of sales in these groups, or you should be going to pick them up yourselves. So, for example, if anything is I live in the general Vancouver area. If I have anything that someone is refusing to ship to me or anything like that, that is a huge, giant red flag. If you are buying something and it is within like a 20-minute drive or 20-minute like commute to you, you want to go see it. You want to make sure it's real, especially with the amount of fake products going around. My general rule of thumb for me personally is I will set about a $50 limit where if it is worth $50 or less, I'm okay to take that risk and get it shipped out to me. Let's say I get scammed. Let's say they don't send the item. I can go through the process and report that person to the group and do all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, I will only be out a maximum of $50. Is that going to suck? Absolutely. You don't want to be out anything. But that is my tolerance level where, if I lose it, I'm not going to, lose dinner next week. I'm not going to be able to not have fun. $50 is a lot of money, but it's not going to ruin me. Anything above $50, I am holding it in my hands. I'm looking at it in person, and I want to make sure it's real. I want to make sure the value is there. I'm looking for like tears or holes in the product. Yeah. But the biggest thing to circle back to why you want to go with Facebook Marketplace is you might see a booster box online for, let's say, $139.99. All these prices are in Canadian, by the way. For Lost Origin, that's about the general price we see up here. Facebook Marketplace has it for $140. Someone's selling them right out of a case, fresh out of a case. Facebook Marketplace doesn't have taxes. So again, if you're meeting with these people in person, you just give them a flat amount of whatever they're like looking for, whatever price you've agreed on. Generally, they don't have taxes on that. I've never had a product I bought on Facebook where I've had to like pay taxes to someone unless it's a store that is using that Facebook group, which then usually I won't use that group personally. But the upside is, like I said, you add taxes onto that $139.99. That box is costing like $155, $156. You can save 15 to $20 just by buying it from a group, from a person on Facebook. So that is my number one tip, the easiest one that you can start implementing right now. If shops have sales, those are great to look at too. But if you are looking to buy randomly every week, every couple weeks, check that marketplace. Look for sealed product. 9 times out of 10, I will buy most of my stuff from Facebook. Again, unless there's a sale going on somewhere else. Okay, next pro tip, super simple, something that people don't really consider all that much, and it drives me crazy, is know a good data source to find what the value of what you're looking for is. I see so many threads of people like, oh, hey, can someone price this out for me? You've got TCG Player, you've got eBay recent sales, or you have my favorite one, which is polkadata.io. So it doesn't have everything. Like there are some niche products that you're not going to see on here, especially older stuff or like build-in battle boxes. Some of those won't be here. But what this does is if we click into any of these items, like the Lost Origin booster box, we can see a general trend line of what the item has been worth over the last since its existence, right? It will take all the eBay item aggregate data and it will sort of show you those highs and lows. So if you were able to buy a box when it was at $85, you did pretty good because we can see that since then it's been slowly creeping up and it probably will slowly creep up until the next wave. Is it going to hit $300 anytime soon? Absolutely not. But this is how you can sort of plan those dips. Pro tip for anyone who's not in the US, all of these prices are US, so you need to do some conversion. You need to switch it to your own country's currency. But a good way to look at this is let's look at Evolving Skies, for example. Everyone loves to talk about it. I love Evolving Skies. Can we go back any further? Yeah, okay. So we can see more long-term data where, back in 2021, you can see that it probably came out around this time and it hit some lows, but you can see how those dips are working. And even after the latest reprint, like what probably would have been sometime between August and July, Yeah, this actually might have been when the reprint came out. So it almost went down to about 150 and then immediately spiked back up. And now we're going into some crazy waters where it's the most expensive it's ever been. Um, Having data sources like this where yes, there is some manipulation that can happen, like with the Machamp cards, or accidental manipulation, like the Aerodactyl alt art from Lost Origins when Pokerev opened up like 12 hours of packs and didn't hit it. There is a giant spike in that specific card. Like if we take a quick look at that, uh, is that how you spell Aerodactyl? Uh-oh. Okay, there we go. Where is the alt art for that? Um, and I'm just going to give you some of these examples just so you can see, right? So this just came out, but we can see that right around, I think the video came out about last week. It went up like crazy, almost $20, $30, almost $70 actually. I didn't realize it was that high. So we went from 95. I believe the video came out around the 13th to the 15th, somewhere in there, and it just spiked like crazy. And now it's starting to come down again. Being able to have a source to go back to and figure out what's going on, and if someone's trying to sell you this card for like $200 US, and you can see that generally it's probably going to come back down to here, if not lower. The set just came out. You have those data points, and you can try to make some better informed decisions. Now, I bet you're wondering why all this stuff was on the table here, and that brings us to our next point, a very important point, is knowing your product and knowing when to avoid something that's too good to be true. So what I mean by that is let's actually specifically look at this tag team tin. This tag team tin, by all accounts, we could dig into it. We could look at like all of the dates on it. You can see that right down here it says, oh, if it wants to focus, come on camera, come on. Anyways, it says 2019 like right there. So this is around the time that Tag Team came out. This is a reprint box. There is no way to really tell outside of that. You could do some digging. I think there's a way to tell maybe with the barcodes. But that's about it. So if you are looking at a product like this and you're like, wow, I really want to open some tag teams, someone is selling these tins for like $35 for some reason, selling them at like that's what they were at when they came out a couple years ago. If you're new to the hobby, tag team had a very low print run. It's got some very crazy chase cards in it, but it's incredibly hard to get. It's probably one of the most expensive sets from Sun and Moon. I would guess it's the most expensive set. So when you see items like this come up for very cheap, where this is a sealed product, it wasn't tampered, it just had a reprint and they changed the packs in it. So the original one had like XY Evolution, Tag Team, and some other earlier Sun and Moon sets. I believe the reprint of this product has like Steam Siege, Rebel Clash, Sun and Moon Base, like not the worst packs. So like over time, these reprints will still have some value, but it's sort of it's fake. It's not really tag team. There's nothing tag team about this except this promo card. So the takeaway from that is to make sure that you know what you're buying. If something seems too good to be true when you're buying from some random sellers, 9 times out of 10 it is. Someone is trying to make a quick buck off you. Even buying this tin for like $35, it's not a bad investment, but just make sure you know what's in it. Another item that I want to sort of quickly talk about are the Pokeball tins. These ones are a lot easier to figure out what it is. I use this tin just to hold all my stuff, but any Pokeball tin that you want to buy from someone, you can figure out what packs are in it because it's very clearly labeled at the bottom here that this is a J21 tin. Every Pokeball tin will have these numbers, like I think the recent Costco ones are A22. Those ones tend to have some reprint stuff in them. But always make sure you know your product. And going back to Costco, just while we're on the subject there, so Costco usually has crazy good deals on boxes, but again, they're mostly subject to reprint. There's nothing wrong with any of the products in there, but if you see like a tag team tin at Costco or some of the old school Evolution tins, you can bet almost certainly that it's got modern items in it. So if you're okay with the crazy good price that they're at, I would still recommend buying them, even though it's got modern in it. just keep in mind it's not going to have what you want in it. And if you see someone reselling that product on the marketplace after it's been in Costco, you can guarantee it's not the original and it doesn't have those older packs in them. Okay, the next tip, a bit more of a subjective one again, and it is figuring out what you want to spend your money on. So, would you rather buy a box of Unified Minds or Brilliant Stars or something like that, or would you put some more stake into something like, let's say, this Celebration sealed mini tin collection? Or, for example, from the Japanese set, we've got this seasonal item of VMAX Climax. So, these items, while they may not be as valuable as, let's say, a booster box outright, like I think Brilliant Stars is actually on quite the climb. I think it goes for about 160 bucks Canadian right now, where you can still get these items for about 90-ish dollars Canadian. I think I picked this bad boy up for I think about 110, 120 bucks. These items, I would bet that they're going to appreciate a lot more than booster boxes, and I can pick up a lot more of them. So I think I've got 7 or 8 boxes of VMAX Climax stored for more of a long-term investment. I have a couple boxes of Brilliant Stars. Brilliant Stars are a bad example because I think that's a really good set. But the key here is the seasonal items around this. VMAX Climax was the special winter edition set for, I think, last year, so it's still relatively new, but we'll probably be getting a new Japanese special collection this year. These are going to basically be done printing a lot sooner than Brilliant Stars. I think Brilliant Stars had its 2 waves, but look at Evolving Skies, look at Cosmic Eclipse, look at some of those other older sets that are already coming back again for some reason. I could almost guarantee that these sets are not coming back. We know for sure that the Celebration stuff is not going to be printed again. We're coming up to, I think, the 3rd special set after Celebration's release this Christmas. The Celebrations items you're seeing out there in the wild are what's left out there. Now, there's a lot of it. Celebrations was heavily printed for the most part, but there are some special pieces from Celebrations that are definitely worth it, like the UPC, or we've got the Pokemon Center exclusive Elite Trainer boxes. And then there's a lot of like random bulk where it's like, should I, shouldn't I? If you can put some weight and value into these items that are just sort of, these tins on their own, I wouldn't get them. But because I found a sealed box of this, the full artwork's on this, I am very confident that I'm going to be able to sell this for a good amount of money one day. I already have my completed Celebrations collection. I don't need to open this up. I'm going to get nothing out of it. So the fact that I could pick this up for a relatively cheap price, that I didn't pick up like a box of them, I found this at a store. They just happened to be on sale at the time. I would put way more weight into getting these special items that are going to be very limited in run compared to any of these booster boxes. Am I crazy for not buying more Brilliant Stars right now? Maybe. I still have faith that there's going to be more print runs of it, and I can pick more up later if I want to. But I know for sure that there are no more print runs of something like this, that there's very few print runs of something like this. It's the same sort of idea when you're looking at Shining Legends and Hidden Fates. Shining Fates is on the fence. I've got a case of ETBs for that, but I think everyone does at this point. So it's all about picking what is most limited, right? If you're looking at it from a more investment standpoint, you want to pick something that's got a bit more scarcity to it. You can maybe see right here, I have that XY Evolutions box where I probably overpaid for it because it was printed a lot. But I think one day it's probably going to do good. We come back to the 30th anniversary. Maybe everyone goes crazy for those Charizards again and they want to crack open Evolutions. Who knows? The point about this one is making sure that look at those seasonal items, look at special boxes that have like playmats or anything like that in them, and really consider that, yeah, a box like this is 95 bucks, but it's got pulls in it worth $300-$400 right now. Chase it. Grab a couple boxes, put them on a shelf, and forget them. Tip 5 is the most basic tip to any sort of item like this, no matter what your hobby is at any time. It is knowing your limit and setting a budget. This hobby can quickly, if you've got gambling tendencies, That's what this is basically. You're opening cards and you're hoping for the best. This is like some knockoff stock market. Nothing within this hobby is guaranteed. If you are in this hobby just for the money, you probably shouldn't be. I have a huge collection because one, I love Pokemon. I've loved playing it since I was a kid. The big hype in the pandemic definitely brought me back to it. Um, but it's got to come from a place of I'm not looking to flip every product I have. Uh, but I do have some things that I think are going to be better than others in the future. So why not keep it sealed? I like to use this to offset my own personal collection. So if it comes like Brilliant Stars, for example, I played the waves pretty well in that. I bought a case at the start. I sold it, made about $300 for it. And you know what I did with that 300 profit? I bought myself 2 boxes of Brilliant Stars for me to open myself. I didn't go and buy more cases of Brilliant Stars to save. And I think that's sort of the way that you want to play this type of thing. Um, so what I mean by knowing your limit as well is it's going to depend on how much disposable income you have for the hobby. If you have, like, if I know that I have 1,000 total dollars, no more is coming in, I can only spend $1,000 on items forever. Uh, then I want to and I still want to open packs. I want to make sure that, yeah, if the new set comes out and I can buy a booster box case for $990, that's probably not what I want to do, especially if I want to, one, grow that money, two, open packs, and three, have a little bit more liquid money. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. Is that case going to be worth something someday? Absolutely. But that someday is probably 5 to 10 years away. Does that mean I'm not going to open up Pokemon cards for 5 or 10 years because I put everything in this one case that may or may not make me a couple $100s? Absolutely not. So you want to spread that out. Maybe instead of a case, you buy like 2 booster boxes, you buy a couple ETBs, you spend half your money on the investment side of things to not touch. Then you buy a couple extra booster boxes with what you've got left, and those are items that maybe you hold them for a month, maybe you hold them for 2 months, and you can flip them and make $20 to $30 in a month as opposed to $200 in 2 or 3 years, right? Profit is still profit. $30, that buys you half an ETB. That buys you, a number of smaller products that you can do things with, and that you can just spend your money on. You've got to find that balance of, how much money that you can actually spend, and making sure that it goes where you want it to go. Yeah. Anyways, those are all my tips in the spirit of, buying cards to open them. This is not a fancy tin. This is one of my Costco tins, but, you know, I'm not Pokerev. I love all those videos, but I can afford to spend a little bit of money and open up some cards this week. This is where I'm going to self-plug. I will be doing videos every Tuesday. You can catch them here. Sometimes they'll be card openings, sometimes they'll be for the community collection, and sometimes I'll just go over some investment type tips. If you have questions, if you're curious about anything, drop a message in the comments. Let me know what kind of content you want me to deliver, and I will try not to burp in your face. But I love Pokemon cards. It's always so much fun for me. I want to make it fun for you too. I want to build a small community around that. If you want, I would appreciate if you hit that like button, do the subscribe, do the thing that every YouTuber tells you for every video you've ever watched. Do that for me too. I'd appreciate it. Let's do 4 from the back. This one is for Fusion Strike. And yeah, if you disagree with any of the comments I've said about how to collect and how I like to do things, let me know. I'm always looking for tips. I'm always looking to change how I do things if what I'm doing doesn't make sense. I've been pretty successful in my method, but it doesn't mean it's the only method. And we're going to learn a lot as time goes on here. And we got some garbage. And, hopefully together we can not pull garbage. We can, use this money, use our limited money and limited time and try to have some fun with this rich person hobby now. So here's another code for you. At the end of the day, I just want to have fun pulling cards. And yeah, make sure that I'm spending money where it should be going, outside of my bills and responsibilities as an adult. We've got a Dynatree Hill, a Spiral Energy, Peony. Got Gillade. Hey, we got Blissey V. Fun fact, Blissey is my third favorite Pokemon. I have a bunch of this card already. It's a pretty common card, but love me that Blissey. Let's do it. So these Evolving Skies packs, they came out of the 5-pack Pokeball tins at Costco. They're pretty good. I think it breaks down to like $3.20 pack. So I definitely picked up like 5 or 6 of them. Again, not for resale, but for my own collection. Yeah, and again, final plug, you can catch my stream every Saturday. We open packs, we do some rip and ships, we just hang out and talk. Yeah, feel free to pop by. I'd appreciate it. And today we are ending this video on garbage. Thanks for coming out. I hope I was helpful. I will see you in the next one.